All right, so first things first, we're going to go to our desktop. We're going to create a new folder. You can name that whatever you want. I'm going to name mine meow meow meow. And then we're going to go to our start menu and we're going to type PowerShell and hit enter. And that's going to open this guy. Yours is probably going to look a little bit different. I made mine look fruity, but it doesn't change anything. It's fine. Don't panic. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna type cd and then one of those little squiggly guys, a tilde. We're gonna type desk and hit tab, and that should autofill to desktop. And then you're gonna write the first few letters of the file you just made and hit tab again, and that should autofill. And then you hit enter, and then voila, we are inside of our folder. And you can type ls, and it will show you nothing, which is exactly what we want. We want an empty folder. All right, and so now what we can do is we can type winget install yt-dlp and hit enter, and it will simply install yt-dlp. And after that's done installing, we're going to close our PowerShell and go to start again and type PowerShell again and hit enter again. And then we're going to cd back into our folder again. And so to make sure that yt-dlp actually installed correctly, we can do yt-dlp-h and hit enter, and it's going to give us a lot of stuff, and we don't need any of it. We just needed to make sure that it worked. What we can do is we can hold control and hit L, and it'll just clean it all up. Everything's gone. It's nice and pretty again. Okay, so now to actually use yt-dlp, we need a video, and you can get that from pretty much anywhere on the internet. yt-dlp is fucking outstanding at downloading videos. It's so good. For our purposes, I already have a video prepared, so I'm just gonna go open my browser and right click the YouTube video and click like copy link to clipboard or whatever. And then we're going to go back to our PowerShell, and we're going to type yt-dlp space, and then just paste the link and hit enter. And it'll simply download the video, DM. It will just work. Okay. And now to make sure that our file is actually there, we can type ls again and press enter. And if you look, there it is. In our case, it is I like having my balls kicked.webm. Alright, so if we type winget space install space ffmpeg, it will try and install ffmpeg, but because we already installed it when we installed yt-dlp in the previous section, it's going to tell us that we already have it installed. So now I'm going to do Control L just to clean out the console, and if we type ls, we will see our one file. And so what we can do now is we can type ffmpeg space -i space, and then we can press tab, and it'll just auto select the only file in our folder. And then we're going to type another space, and we're going to type whatever we want our file name to be. So for me, I'm going to make it something like source footage, footage, source footage. And then at the end, we're going to put a .yuv or yuv. And so now, if we type ls and hit enter, you will see not only our first file, I like having my balls kicked.webm, but also our new file that we just made with ffmpeg, which is called sourcefootage.yuv. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and install Audacity. And so we can do that a couple different ways. Of course, you can go to the Audacity website and just download it from there, or we can do the cool nerdy thing and go back to our shell and type winget space install space A Audacity .A Audacity and hit enter. And it will just install Audacity just like that. It's so easy. Alright, so now we have Audacity installed. So we're going to go to our start menu and type Audacity and hit enter, and it's going to open Audacity. it'll give you a bunch of like splash screens and stuff. You can just click through them. We don't care about those. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to File, Import Raw Data, and we're gonna go and we're gonna find our file on our desktop, or a folder on our desktop, and click on our .yuv file. And we're gonna hit open. I'm gonna bring up this little menu. We need to make sure that encoding is set to ALAW, byte order is set to no endianness, and the rest we can just kind of ignore. We just hit OK, and then it's gonna take forever to import. So we're just gonna like wait, I guess. Okay, so now it's gonna open up this big old scary looking block of lines. What we want to do, so we want to select a bunch of it. Don't go too far to the left or too far to the right where it can break the file, or so I've been told. So we're going to go up to our effects tab and click anything. For our purposes, I'm just going to click reverb and hit apply, and then it's going to take forever to finish. Okay, now you can see that it's changed the waveform a little bit. All those little lines are a little funkier. And you know what? Fuck it, let's add another one. Let's add a phaser. I'll just click phaser in our effects tab and hit apply again, and we're gonna wait for quite a while. Okay, so now it looks real funky. So we're gonna go to File and Export Audio, and we're gonna click Browse, and we're gonna go to our desktop and go into our folder and just click Save. And you can name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name mine Yippee. And so we're gonna make sure that format is set to other uncompressed files. We're gonna make sure our header is set to raw, headerless, and our encoding is set to ALAW. And then we're gonna click export. This is going to take quite a while, so you can just kind of leave and go do something else. Okay, so now it is finished exporting. Now we can go back into our shell and type ls and hit enter. You can see it right there, yippee.raw. And so we're going to go ahead and minimize our shell and go into our folder on the desktop and go ahead and slowly double click the file name for yippee.raw. Go ahead and rename it to your file name and change the .raw to a .yuv. And so now we're going to go ahead and actually close Audacity. We're going to click the little X on the left of the track, and then we're going to go ahead and close the window and don't bother saving it. So now we can go back into PowerShell and type ls again. You can see that it is now renamed to yippee.yuv, which is what we want. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to type ffmpeg, and then we're going to press tab until we get to our original video file. And it's going to show a lot of stuff. It's going to show a lot of spooky stuff. We don't care about any of that. All we care about is the resolution and the frame rate. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to type a very long, scary ffmpeg command. So that's going to be ffmpeg-f rawvideo vcodec rawvideo-s, and here we're going to put in that resolution from ffmpeg that we got earlier. In my case it's 1920 by 1080, and then we're going to do -r, and we're going to put in the frame rate from earlier. In my case it's 30 fps, so we're just going to type 30 space, and we're going to do -i yippee.yuv, or it's the one that we just renamed. And we're going to do -c:\v space libx264 space -preset ultrafast space -qp0 space, and right here we're just going to type what we want our final video name to be. I'll name mine ohbaby.mp4. Make sure it's an mp4. And so now if we type ls, you can see it right there in the file list, ohbaby.mp4. We can go back to our desktop folder and we can double click on it, and there you have it. We have this really goofy, fucked up, filthy looking version of our original video. And that's it. You're done. And you can do all kinds of wacky stuff with this. I'll make like a little demo video at the end. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. See ya. If you see a cat, say hi.
Can I tell you something if you don't think it's weird? I like having my balls kicked. Did you see my message? I like having my balls kicked. I like being kicked in the balls.